So when people design their backyard spaces and they don't think about the trajectory of the sun, what is the point of creating this beautiful backyard escape for summertime use when it's 40 degrees with the humidity, it's too hot to go outside because there's no escape, particularly if you're facing south or southwest where it's just sun all day long.
Yeah, it's beating on you.
Make sure that you will never see me build any deck project without there being some sort of aerial structure. Not only
something
for
to give you shade.
Yeah, not only for the aesthetic purposes, but also the purposes of allowing you to be out there in the rain, but mostly to give you escape from the burning hot, smoking sun.
Love that. Not planning correctly for furniture.
You know,
So does that happen? People have the pieces that they want, they've already bought it, so now go ahead, Paul, make it so, or they just try it themselves, or they buy their own furniture.
well, I mean, most people will go, if somebody buys furniture first and doesn't plan the deck around it, that's because, well, there's usually been a lot of whiskey involved. And so,
It's just a mistake.
yes.
Just one of those mistakes.
Mistake.
Okay?
But I mean, it's so important that when a deck is designed, that defined rooms are designed in, just like you would expect inside the house.
No different than inside.
This is where you're going to eat. This is where you're going to use the barbecue. This is where you're going to have the dining table. It's just like the indoor space.
So it should have flow and reasoning.
But what's really fun is that with a deck, you can do something that you can't do inside the house. You can go and find an incredible piece of furniture, like a rounded, it's like a semicircular rounded sofa bed, and design the deck around that. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So I've actually had a client that actually bought a sectional couch that was in a half circle, and I designed the entire deck to fit this piece. And it was an incredible finish.
So you
all based
have
on
a
piece
lot
of
more
furniture.
you have on that piece of furniture. That was your
That was
creative.
inspiration.
That was inspiration,
Yeah.
and it's true because you don't have the same walls, the same support structures to worry about.
Very unique.
You are outside, so really the sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. Trust me, you should see the stuff I want to build.
Pretty good, right? Not maintaining the wood. Well, that's just. I always say people in terms of their homes, they look after their cars far more effectively than they do their homes. And no different when we look at those decks, nothing's worse when they've stained it and then they haven't maintained it and then it's peeling and it's just
right.
ugly.
This is something I'm trying to get across to anyone that will listen. It is so important to use composite decking, ultra low maintenance products outside for two reasons. Number one, what is the point of going into your backyard retreat, your staycation, your haven,
And start sanding.
You're looking around thinking of all the maintenance you have to do.
For sure.
You wouldn't go to a resort, and if someone handed you a margarita and said, when you're done drinking your margarita, would you mind painting the cabana?
That's right.
You probably wouldn't go back.
No, and you wouldn't go into your backyard when you know that there's all that work.
Yeah,
you avoid it.
So, with ultra low maintenance decking, all you're doing, like with a product like Trex, and I love this stuff, all you're doing is washing it every now and then like you wash your car. That's going to be great psychologically. You're walking into that backyard space, but the resale value, oh my gosh, what that brings back. If you do a wooden deck floor, it actually can now be a detriment to your property value because somebody coming to buy the house is saying,
Wear and tear. Have to do it.
I have to
fix it.
maintain this.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful deck, but it's like a swimming pool. I don't want the maintenance, so I'm going to have to fill this in. It actually could be a detriment to your property value.
Right.
But here's the statistic. A composite deck that is so boring it makes my eyes bleed will give you 90% return on investment.
Huge.
So imagine if it's got some creativity, that's where your property value goes to the
And
roof.
Paul, you've got to admit the choices now. I mean, it really has come a long, long
Yes,
way.
it
The
has.
colors, the choices, just the styles, it's incredible.
Yeah, because
thicknesses, width.
I'm pretty sure that in the past, when composite decking colors were chosen, there wasn't a woman around within a 100-mile radius. It was a Friday night, there was a lot of beer, and then it was like, I think salmon's a lovely color for a deck surface, And it wasn't, and the women are going, oh no. So with a product like Trex, I mean, you can tell that there was
Terracotta.
There was some involvement from people that weren't colorblind. And so the colors all coincide with each other. They all tie in with brick and siding, and it all flows. That's important.
I think I'm at that point now, just saying. Okay, the last one, here we go. Understanding the elements before we wrap up. What do you mean by that?
Well, when you consider sun, when you consider rain, when you consider all the things that happen outside, those are things that you want to protect the deck from. But what about when you like those things? Like fire. When you have a fire feature in the backyard, what that does. We love sitting around campfires. Imagine if you can have a gas fire on the deck that draws you in. It's something. I look at fire and I immediately go cross-eyed because I'm just transfixed and I feel relaxed. People don't talk to me because I look odd, but that's what happens. Water features.
Oh, yeah, love that.
I mean, most people love the sound of running water.
Absolutely.
Very tranquil. There's a small percentage that makes them have to pee incessantly. But, a small percentage. Having lighting, the lights. Having beautiful light ambience at night. Lighting, all local
Music.
lighting system. Yeah, it's having speaker systems built into the outdoors. That's the musician in me. I want people to walk into their backyard space and go, ah. Whether it's a small space or a large space, I'm very passionate about doing this because I know the impact of what I'm doing. I know how it affects people in a very positive way. That's the musician in me. How do you know a good song when you hear one? Because
it moves you.
It's the emotional
You
response.
experience, yeah, you feel it.
Yeah.
Well, you move me.
Oh, darling. That's now I'm all shy.
Yeah, we can walk off. We'll
Let's
walk
walk.
together.
Bye.
Heads down.
See ya.
Well, everybody, on another adventure. So you got to stick around. We'll be right back.
One of your biggest rental mistakes is, you know what is?
What is it?
Watching TV.
Oh, yeah.
So